Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing a book review on The Walking Dead Compendium number 2 by Robert Kirkman. Compendium number 2 continues with issues number 49 through 96 of the popular zombie survival story. Events pick up after the arrival of the governor and the destruction of the prison. Rick and Carl are on their own, the group is split up, and once again it's time to find a new sanctuary and to outrun the constant threat of danger. Before I get started, the first half of this review will contain no spoilers, and then I will get into a spoilers section and I will let you know in advance when that starts. When I did a review of Compendium number 1, I stated that I had an incredibly difficult time kind of getting into the first issues. I just couldn't stand the characters weren't likable, and some of the plot was just kind of slow and dragging. But by the halfway of Compendium number 1, I just really started enjoying the story immensely. And fortunately, I did not have any of those problems with Compendium number 2. The action just immediately started. And there was always something going on with all the characters. Once again, the artwork is done very beautifully in this. Again, it's done in black and white and grayscale, and I actually felt like there was a lot more detail going on in these issues, especially if you would kind of look in the background and you could see little things. Maybe even like a random lone zombie in the background, which would always be kind of cool. The dialogue and artwork is as gruesome as ever. Sometimes the dialogue comes across as just so realistic and so human, but then other times not so much. It's just kind of cheesy. And if you watched my review of Compendium number 1, you may remember that I had a complaint about the use of all the F words. I have to complain about that again in these issues. The F word seriously does not bother me. I use it all the time, but when it's used in overabundance and it just kind of makes these characters look stupid, then that's when it annoys me. But aside from that, there's just these really great moments where you see the true nature of humanity and what it means to be human, what it means to survive in this new world, and the ways you have to cope and deal with other people. And that's what I find so fascinating about The Walking Dead, is that it's not about the zombies, it's about the people, who are sometimes the real monsters. With Compendium number 1, I felt like all those issues dealt with this idea of survival and survival of the fittest. It was about protecting yourself and protecting your family and protecting those around you, and doing so at the cost of probably other people dying in the process. And with Compendium number 2, what I found to be this overlying theme was the fact that the characters realize that they don't have to live by those standards anymore. The story shifts to this idea of community and this idea of working together and surviving together. And it's also about learning to let go of the past, but keep enough of the past present in your mind that it's a reminder of where you've come from. And to keep some of the past alive so as to remind yourself that you are still human and that it's okay to make human mistakes. And that it's okay to feel moments of extreme weakness. And most importantly about Compendium number 2 is the fact that these characters learn to finally live rather than feel like death is constantly at the door. So I'm going to be moving on to some spoilers, so click the spoiler button and it will take you to the very end of the video. Jeez, poor Dale, you guys. I think Dale is the first casualty of this book, and he goes in a pretty gruesome manner. Did he seriously have to suffer through losing 2 legs? Jeez, poor man. And once again, I really adored his interactions with Andrea in Compendium number 2. And finally, some freaking cannibals. I've been waiting for some cannibals to pop up. In a lot of apocalyptic works, there's usually some cannibals running around, because that's just how human nature is when people go nuts and they're starving. And they ate Dale's poor leg, those bastards. I think one of the most brilliant parts in this entire compendium was when the cannibals were eating Dale's leg, and he starts laughing And they're over there like, why are you laughing, old man? And he says, because I'm tainted meat. And he says that he's tainted meat because earlier he had got bitten by a zombie. And I love the looks on the faces of the cannibals, because they're like, oh no, what if his leg is contaminated? And they start spitting out and vomiting up his leg, and it's so gross but so great at the same time because Dale got his revenge. This next bit is something that they played a lot with in season 3 of the television series, and that was when Rick went a wee bit nuts and he started kind of imagining Lori and imagining her on the other end of a telephone line. And that, in Compendium number 2, that is where that finally happens. I really liked this kind of character development of Rick, or maybe not so much development, but him kind of going backwards, actually, in his character development. Rick is usually a very strong character, and I kind of like seeing these moments of weakness from him, with him kind of regressing and going nuts and kind of being unsure of himself and unsure what to do with the group and his son Carl, and that he feels the need to consult this imaginary person on this telephone, and he feels like he has to consult Lori for approval. And that's the great thing about Rick's development through this entire compendium, is the fact that he has to learn to be sure of himself, trust his instincts. The next thing that I just particularly really loved about this compendium, and I really hope it happens on the television series, is Alexandria, Virginia. I freaking love this entire plot line, and it's pretty much in the entirety of compendium number 2, and I'm assuming continuing into the next issues after that. Alexandria is a community of about 50 people, and it resides outside the Washington, D.C. area. And it was a special place that was created by the government in case of natural disaster. So much happens at this community, it's not even funny. Just event after event after event. There's so much action going on, and I really enjoyed that. After their experiences with the governor, Rick and the gang kind of arrive to Alexandria. They're unsure about these people. They don't trust them because of those experiences with the governor. And there's something about these people that seems so fake and phony, and they come to realize that this fakeness is due to the fact that these people haven't lived out in the real world with the real zombies. They are just living in this community and ignoring the fact that there are zombies outside their walls and that people are dying. And so Rick, this is where he kind of kickstarts, and he starts trying to take charge, and he makes some much needed improvements in this community. And oh Jesus, you know things aren't going to last that long in this happy community, because this big huge zombie horde just comes out of nowhere, and oh, it's brilliant. It goes on for just page after page after page, just page after page of gruesomeness and just so much killing and bloodshed, and so many people freaking die too. I'll show you guys this. I really love this part. It's a full 2 pages, and it's Rick and Michonne and some other people after they've just killed tons of these zombies, and I love this whole look right here. And oh my god, you guys, Carl got shot in the eye. A bullet came and got him, and he lost an eye. Oh my god. I thought Carl was a goner. I was, oh no. When I read, I don't often make remarks out loud, but this one time with Carl getting shot, this was the first time I've literally just kind of jumped up in my bed and went, oh my god. And I scared everyone in the house because they're like, what? But Carl is alive, thank goodness, and now he's pretty badass looking. Lots of new characters are also introduced in this compendium, but that also means that a lot of characters are killed, but they are replaced with some cooler characters too. Early on we're introduced to Abraham, Rosita, and Eugene, and then later we're introduced to a lot of new people at Alexandria, like Denise, and Heath, and Douglas, and Spencer, etc. And then right at the end we are introduced to, is it Jesus or Jesus? I wasn't quite sure which way I was supposed to pronounce it, if it was Jesus or Jesus, but right at the end we're introduced to him and this new community called the Hilltop. Now I really want to know, I need the next issues. And speaking of the Hilltop, this is a community that is about 20 miles away from the Alexandria community, which I found a little strange because wouldn't they have known that this community was only 20 miles away? And this community has about 200 people in it, so lots and lots of people. And the great thing about the Hilltop is the fact that not only do they have 200 people, but they're also farming and cultivating the land, and they have an abundance of supplies. It's practically paradise. There's a lot of kind of religious themes going on, so that's kind of why I'm saying I'm not sure how to pronounce Jesus' name, if it is Jesus or Jesus, because it could be Jesus kind of as a metaphor, kind of introducing these kind of religious themes. And the fact that he's kind of a savior to Rick and the gang, because he does introduce them to this Hilltop community. But once again, like at Alexandria, things can't always go great in these communities, because then you learn about this other group of people called the Saviors, and the Saviors are kind of wacko, and they kind of just randomly kill people. And they are led by this man named Negan, who is not introduced in this compendium at all. He is just referenced, so I am very excited to continue with the issues to finally meet Negan. And basically what Negan and his gang do is that in exchange for them killing off all the surrounding zombies, they want a large percentage of the supplies that the Hilltop has. And basically Rick is like, I want to get involved with this. This Negan guy, he's a bad character. He's randomly killing off your people when he's not happy about something, so I'm gonna get involved. And when does Rick not get involved? And that's basically where the compendium ends. I'm dying to know where all this is going. Even though these compendiums are 1,000+ pages long, the thing is, they take no time to read whatsoever. They're just so fast and enjoyable, and there's always so much going on. Okay, so that is the end of the spoilers section. Overall, I just freaking loved compendium number 2. If you've read compendium number 1, you better get on compendium number 2 right now, because it is freaking amazing, especially before the new television season starts back up. So that's it for this review. Have you guys read as far as I have? Remember I said that right now I am at issue 96, so no spoilers please beyond that. But have you read up to 96? I'd love to hear your thoughts. And will you be watching the new season of The Walking Dead? I am super excited. So that's it for this book review. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you liked this book review, you may like these other book reviews. Bye guys.